Would you be surprised if I told you the average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt every single month? And that debt charges an interest rate anywhere between 20 and 30%. This is not just debt, this is financial quicksand, and eventually it will swallow up everything. Your immediate plans, your long-term plans, your retirement plans, and eventually even your health. And if you've experienced it, this type of credit card debt is suffocating and stressful. So it begs the question, why is credit card debt growing year on year when it could be such a negative force in our life? So today we're going to do a deep dive on why credit card debt is crushing Americans right now, and more importantly, how you can escape it before it pulls you under too. Later in the video, I'm going to give you some time-proven strategies on how to repay that debt as quickly as possible, and of course, how to stay out of credit card debt in the future. Hi, my name is Rob. I'm Building Wealth Simplified, and at 47 years old, I stopped being a heavy consumer and started my wealth building journey. And now I'm on a mission with this channel to show that you can do the same thing too for you and your family. But first of all, let's get something straight. It's important to understand that credit cards are not evil. They're simply a tool. I have many credit cards and I use them to make money all the time, but used in the wrong way, they can become a trap. And they're a trap that banks have spent a long time designing to be nearly invisible. It's a trap designed to transfer money from your account to their account, and there could be little escape, as we're about to find out. Let me paint you a picture. Jasmine is 32. She works 2 jobs. She pays her rent on time. But a few years ago, she needed to cover a medical bill. She had no insurance. So she put it on a credit card and planned to pay it back. Then she had a small car repair come out of the blue. Grocery prices then went up. A few gifts over the holidays and a couple of birthdays later, she now owes $2,400 on a credit card. Jasmine is struggling to pay anything apart from the minimum balance, and soon that $2,400 becomes $4,000. Just 1 year later, it's over $5,000, and that minimum payment is not even covering the interest. Now, if you're like me and you've had problems with your credit card in the past, you'll recognize the story and know how easy it is to get sucked in. What starts as one purchase and a one-off can soon spiral into thousands of dollars with no way out and no chance of paying it back. And here's how it works. The bank makes it incredibly easy to get a credit card. You have bad credit, you have no income, and you get a $5,000 limit. Why? Because they don't want you to be responsible. They want you in the credit game, they just don't want you winning it. Second, they use psychological tricks to get you. Reward points, air miles, cashback. Sounds good. They're just bait to trick you. Studies show that people use credit cards far more than cash. They can swipe without feeling the pain. Third, the interest rates on credit cards are brutal. The average interest rate in 2024 was 21% or higher. That means every dollar of debt you have is growing like a weed. You're paying 3, 4, 5 times the amount for the product than you originally intended. And with that kind of sustained growth and stress, you can see why credit cards can affect your physical health. Now, I am going to give you some solid strategies to tackle this problem, the same strategies I used to get out of my credit card debt. But it's important to understand the fundamental problems that the credit cards pose. For example, if you have a $6,000 revolving balance and your minimum payment is $180, just $60 of that will go to the principal. The rest of it is pure interest. And it's growing every single month. If you continue to make the minimum payment, it will take you 17 years to repay that balance. In 17 years, I will be 68 years old. So how did the average American get in this position? Well, for the most part, I can put it down to one thing: survival. For the majority of this credit card crisis, it comes down to not poor choices, but the cost of living. Over the past few years, we've had stagnant wages, medical emergencies, job losses, inflation, and when there's more month than money, the credit card can feel like a lifeline. But here's the thing, it's a fake one. And once you start using it and not repaying it immediately, it's hard to get out. And that's the design of it. According to the Federal Reserve in the US, credit card debt has now surpassed $1.1 trillion for the first time. I don't even know how many zeros that is, but that is a lot. Now, to put that into perspective, in 2013, it was half. And this problem is only going to get worse over time. More than 35% of Gen Z, the younger generation, already carry a credit card balance every single month. They're barely old enough to rent a car, and already they have a credit card balance they can't afford to pay back. What will it be like in 10 years' time? You see, we've created a culture where borrowing feels normal and credit is easy to access. Paying back consumer debt and huge amounts of interest just becomes part of life. In 2025, credit is convenience, and it seems like we've all bought into it. Okay, that's enough of the doom and gloom. It is important to understand how serious the problem is and the fundamental issues, but let's talk about strategies on getting ourselves out of it. So here are 7 strategies to break free from the credit card trap, and I'm going to connect each one to the most common financial mistakes that people make. Number 1, face the numbers. Now, most people avoid looking at their credit card statements. They feel overwhelmed by what they owe, but you can't fix what you don't face, so we have to face it. The truth is, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is expensive, and eventually it's going to cost you a fortune. So let's list every card, every balance, the interest rate, the minimum payment. Get a snapshot of your reality. And it's important to understand you're not shaming yourself, you're preparing to win. One of the things I did when I tackled my credit card debt was to print it off and put it on the wall in my office. It now became a life goal. It was a priority and I couldn't ignore it any longer. Number 2, stop the bleeding. It's time to take the cards away until we fix this problem. Put them in a drawer, put them in a safe, put them in ice. Whatever you want to do, take them out of circulation. We have to stop using them. Now, I know this is easier said than done, but if you're serious about fixing this problem, we have to draw a line in the sand. If your credit card remains in circulation, if it's in your wallet, in your car, in your pocket, you will use it again. It's inevitable. Number 3, we're going to pick a strategy and start paying off the credit cards. Now, there's plenty of ways of paying off your credit, but there's 2 main ones, and both of them are equally good. There's the snowball method, which is to pick the smallest debt and pay it off first. This will give you a psychological win and encourage you to go on to the next one. My favorite is the avalanche method. This saved me money in the long run. It's finding the one with the highest interest and tackling that one first. But whichever of the 2 strategies you adopt, the important thing is to have a plan. No random payouts each month. A strategy will create momentum, and that will carry you through right to the zero balance. Number 4, negotiate your interest rates. Call your credit card companies. Be polite but firm. Mention you've been a loyal customer for many years. After a conversation, some may say no, but some may yes, and it doesn't cost nothing to ask. From my own personal experience, you may be pleasantly surprised. The mistake made here is you assume that nothing can change. As the old saying says, a closed mouth never gets fed. So ask. And continuing with that theme, number 5, consider a balance transfer. As long as your credit isn't rock bottom, you can find companies that will do 0% balance transfers, even if it isn't for the full amount. And the best thing, most offers will give you 12 to 18 months to pay it back. And that's at 0% interest. Just make sure you shop around. And as always, read the fine print. The most important thing in this whole debt payback strategy is we don't add to the debt. Number 6, increase your income. And this could be your biggest play. Doing damage control, saving money, and stop using the credit cards are big plays. But making more money and paying it down faster will be the biggest. And understanding we all have busy lives these days, it doesn't need to be a massive amount, just consistent each month. It could be anything from freelance work, selling clothes, babysitting, renting a space or a room, Uber, a part-time job, even starting a small digital business. We're living in the gig economy. Everybody's got a side hustle, so start yours and use it. Now you may say, Rob, it seems like every strategy to tackle personal finance issue evolves around having a second income. And you know what? You're right, because it works and you're taking control. Number 7, change the habit, not just the balance. Now we'll work our way out of debt, but unless you change your spending habits and your habits around money, you could end up back in debt. You can change your whole mindset around money and how you spend it. I know you can because I did the same thing. Learn to be less consumer focused and develop better shopping habits. Learn to think of money as a tool to make more money instead of spending on stuff. Your mindset matters more than you may realize, and you can develop the right one to avoid you getting into the credit card debt again. The reality is our spending habits is not about the math. They're usually behavioral, they're emotional, and we need to adopt new habits. To show you what I mean, I've got an example for you, and he's called David. David is in his mid-40s. He's a father of 2, and he works in IT. He made decent money, but never paid attention to spending. And because of this bad financial habit, he raked up $28,000 across 5 credit cards. But instead of freezing like so many people do, David faced it. And this is what he did. David called every card and he negotiated new interest rates. He sold his motorcycle. He picked up a weekend gig teaching coding online. And in 18 months, he was debt-free. Now, I understand this is just an example. It's just to prove a point. But we do have our own personal experiences relating to credit cards and how we pay them off. And it's not about getting rich or planning for retirement or getting ahead. It's all about getting stress-free and being free from the credit. It's all about freedom from the debt, not status, not points, not some luxury fantasy. Because it's not just money that credit card debt will cost you. It costs you far greater things. You want to start a small business. Credit card says no. You want to go on a weekend trip away. Credit card says no. You want to have a peaceful night's sleep and have no stress in your life. Credit card says no. Ultimately, your credit card is robbing you, and it's robbing your future self of all your potential. There's no overnight win over the credit cards. It's all down to the small wins, but those small wins will stack fast. Paying off just a few $100s each month may seem small, but it's momentum and it's proof that you're going in the right direction. It's a commitment to improve your financial health, and once your brain registers it, behavior follows. The thing is, the challenge isn't the small wins or the numbers. It's the shame. Credit card debt feels personal. And I know from personal experience, it can feel like you failed. And that's what the banks want you to think. They thrive on your silence. But remember, you're not alone. They know this because half the adults in the US, that's 120 million people, are in the same predicament. And if you're watching this, you're doing far better than the most. Even better still, you're considering a change. But one final truth for you to consider. Credit card debt is not a life sentence. It's a challenge. And challenges can be beaten with discipline, strategy, and patience. So start today. Only you can do it. Cut an expense, make a call, do a balance transfer, put $10 on your credit card. Build a new financial habit. You can do it. I did it. Believe in it and you will be on your way. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the system is rigged this way. It's designed to keep you broke, but you can choose to fight back. Now, if you feel like you're on a roll and you feel empowered, I'm going to leave a video right here for you that will help you in your strategy. And if you feel like you got some value to today's video, I'd love a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you on board while we continue on this journey. In the meantime, enjoy the video and I'll see you there.